Hello. Welcome to the M3's 3D plastic show. Sponsored by M3's 3D. Okay, I'm going crazy because sales are crazy right now. I don't really know what it is. Maybe there's a little bit of interest and traffic from these videos that's inspiring people. Maybe the economy, the perception that the economy might be getting better. Obviously the stock market is way up and crypto's through the roof. There's a lot of people with a lot more money than they expected to have, I guess. And that is looking like this is a very early indicator that this is going to be probably the biggest Christmas I've ever had. And I've had some big ones, man. So things are gonna get pretty real. I'm not sure, but I might pretty much stop going anywhere. I think it's going to be just about all we can do just to like make enough plastic and print enough things. Even with all the preparation, it's like even that might not be totally sufficient. I don't know. I mean, there's always the option of just putting the shop on vacation mode. I really don't want to do that. A, missing out on the most profitable season possible, and B, it freaks people out. Something they won't tell you about vacation mode on Etsy is people start thinking that you just went away. And they start messaging you like, are you working on my order? Even if you say that in the message on it, on the shop or something, they think that you're just like, that you just like ran off with their money or something. All that's to say, and then people will start leaving bad reviews because they just freak out sometimes. Most people are cool, but a certain percentage. But yeah, so that's not a good option. You really want to be able to produce enough stuff. So we might have to already start getting hardcore. In daily roundup news, this guy turned out good, that guy turned out good, that guy turned out good, that guy turned out good. And the fact that they all turned out good is good. Just got a classic dolphin here. This guy, we've got under extrusion, but it printed fairly well otherwise. It was just a little thin. So that's a good sign. So this isn't gonna need a new extruder probably. Still need to fix the Z-axis screw on that, but shouldn't be too hard. And this guy printed good. We are churning out the sharks, and we have almost a room full of them now. And that guy's printing as well. This shark is doing good. Smilodon skull. Got another alien, of course. Got another D20. I might even go ahead and just make yet another D20. I think I'm going to show you what we've prepared so far. See how many Sharkies we've got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I guess that's 10 here. I think I've never shown this room for some reason. That's an 11th Sharky. This is where all my old bubble wrap goes. I obviously make my own now. 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. We've got a bunch of little sharks kind of in here. Yeah, that's 3 pipe cans. 1, 2, 3 D20s. Yeah, I really want to have more D20s than that. Like, people love these D20s. There's a spare Mimic can. And like I said, we've got random like little sharks in here. Still got my bearded dragon here. Nobody's bought that. I can't believe it. It's so cool. I really kind of wanted to have more built up, but at least we got something. Oh, I forgot in this corner we got a couple more doodads. To be fair, we do have a couple Sharkies here, so we have a good amount, but like, I don't even know. That might sell, in, everything we've built up might sell in a couple days. What often happens during Christmas, by the way, I set the lights to like super trippy fade. I'm gonna see if it bothers me or not, but I kind of like it. Something sort of comforting about it. But what happens during Christmas is you get like so like startled basically by the sales, and you just see it coming in and coming in and coming in, that you just start thinking like it's the ultimate test in a way. It's like, how am I going to make all this stuff? How am I going to make like 40, 50 things a day? And it's very hard, but you need to remember all you're doing, in my case, making plastic, printing things, painting things, shipping things. That's it. That's all there is. That's all your life is for a month. And like, if you just remember that, just do these things, everything's gonna be basically sort of fine. I know I've been talking for like months about like, we're preparing for this Christmas thing. You're gonna see. Like, I don't even know what's gonna happen. This could be the craziest thing. This could be the craziest selling season I've ever seen in my life in any business I've ever done. Yeah, well, you guys are taking the ride with me. There's actually a thing in AA, some of you might be familiar. I was in a significant relationship with somebody who was an addict, and they talk about, just think about the next step you gotta take. You don't have to do all the things right away. Like, you know, a journey, I won't make an analogy. All you have to do is just take the next step. What's the next step? Because that's all the choice is, really. And that's how you have to think with this season. Like, okay, I can't control the fact that somebody ordered 10 coffee cans, or hopefully nobody actually does that. You can't do anything about that. What you can do is just like, all right, what do I do right now, immediately, in this next moment? And it actually is a thing that works really well. In this immediate moment, I've got to turn off the heated bed for this so I can get the shark off. We're gonna give that a couple minutes and then pry that boy off. Then what I'm gonna do, reset all the printers, and there's a bunch of packages to take to clients. I'm probably gonna snag some coffee. It's gonna be like the only thing I do today that isn't pure business. Then we're gonna come back, we're gonna make spools, and we're going to paint anything that needs painted, and we're gonna package everything we got. Also, we're gonna listen to Jim Croce while we do it. I forgot to mention something else I'm gonna do. Just adjusted my glasses. Something else I'm gonna do is raise prices slightly. Obviously, everybody knows the supply-demand thing. If you have too much supply of orders, sometimes you can reduce the demand for them. Or if you don't have enough, if it's difficult to supply the orders, you reduce the demand by raising prices. Now, you don't want to do that too much because like, it'll make people mad and you get bad reviews, like if you just dramatically do it. But we're probably gonna raise prices by like 10, 15%, something like that. And the thing that makes that work for me is like, I'm kind of cheaper than a lot of the competition anyway. I can do that because I make my own filament. So, especially during Christmas, people already have a lot of the stuff picked out that they want. That's not always true, but sometimes you can kind of do that, basically. Now, if you raise prices and then the sales just go away, obviously that's a bad sign. But yeah, it's something we're gonna do. I'm making a list of things that have to get done before the Christmas rush really hits, and I've already got quite a few things on the cupcake. But another one is going to be asking for reviews. Every so often I send out a bunch of messages on Etsy asking for reviews. Weirdly, those note cards, the thank you cards, did not work. As I've said before, that was an interesting experiment. But the messages on Etsy do kind of work. Plus they don't cost anything, so that's nice. You don't have to mail anything. So I need to message like basically everybody in the last 3 months that I think would give me a good review, which is hopefully almost everybody. I don't know what criteria I would use otherwise. And that, of course, will boost sales during Christmas. Which hopefully is something I can tolerate. So we're getting it to where we're printing enough small things that I'm gonna start putting them in bins like this, because the racks can only hold so much stuff. And yeah, we're gonna get bins. Oh yeah, another thing I need to do is there's just a bunch of random stuff on here. Some of this is like new products I took pictures of, like this Elon Musk pipe stand and stuff like that. I need to take that off the racks so we can maximize the use of these guys. You definitely want to do this kind of gently so nothing gets broken, obviously. I like how in the first Star Wars movie, they made it so that like Darth Vader wasn't exactly the guy in charge. Like, isn't this the guy that can force choke people? Like, what's going on? Okay, it is time to drop packages off. We have quite a few smaller packages that are FedEx. I'm probably going to stop shipping really any small packages with FedEx because it's going to be enough just to drop off the big ones during Christmas. Plus, it's only like doing this might save something like $1 or slightly less than $1 sometimes. Man, I'm losing my train of thought. It's a little bit cheaper sometimes to ship with FedEx, even with small packages. But we are gonna probably have to stop doing that because it's gonna be all we can do to deliver them. Crap, I forgot. They close on Saturday. So, this was all stupid. Well, so we are going to Ollie's. We're going to Ollie's to check for more colors of paint that are useful. And I want to get a big thing of coffee because I'm almost out. And we are not going to go out for coffee every day or almost every day during Christmas. So that means I'm going to be completely dependent on brewing my own. In fact, I may make like a whole bunch of coffee ahead of time so that I don't even have to brew it. I have a giant like 2-gallon thing that I use sometimes. Actually, I definitely should do that because that takes time. I've mentioned this before, but there's this guy named Tom Hardiman that I knew in ministry school. He was kind of one of the people that taught there. And he competed in the Olympics in track. He competed in the same Olympics as Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner. And yeah, he used to talk a lot about how Olympic athletes train and stuff. And I don't think I've ever done anything quite to the level of being as hardcore as Olympic athletes tend to be. But it at least gave me a framework for thinking about how you use every like second of your day. And most of the time we don't have to go that hardcore, but around the holidays, that's when it's game time. This is the Super Bowl for me. Okay, unbelievably, I think they don't have any big things of coffee. I usually get it here at Ollie's because it's definitely the cheapest way to get coffee. I guess they have this. I'll get a couple bags. We managed to get a couple vital things, plus I did get a couple of those candles. This smells unbelievable. And it's only $2.99. I think I got 2 of them. I think we'll burn them. And honestly, if they smell really good, I might go buy like 10 of them or something. Because that's actually a really good price on a candle that smells that amazing. Maybe I've never said anything about the candles, the whole candle thing, but it does improve mood a lot. Like, and especially during stressful times, which we're about to have, it's like, man, it does add a little something. If you can just like kind of be in a really nice, it's like if you had to do a bunch of work, but you were doing it in the living room of your grandma's house. You know, it would still be stressful, but there's something a little bit comforting about it. This is not going to be the last time we run to Dunkin' this year, but it's going to be one of the last times. Went with the hot coffee again. It's Dunkin' Midnight. One thing in previous Christmases that I did that was suboptimal is I kind of got a decent amount of delivery food and stuff. And I guess it was fine for the time, but I am trying to like lose weight and I'm managing to do so. So I think what I'm gonna do is maybe once a week, we're just gonna go to the Brookshire Brothers thing and just like stock up on those pre-made things and get enough for at least a week or something like that, because those will stay good for like a week easily. And it's super low fat, or it's fairly low fat depending on what it is, and it's really quick. You know, you pretty much just pop it in the oven, and I think that's what we're gonna do. Maybe we'll splurge a time or two and get like pizza delivered or something, but I don't want to be doing that all the time. It's super unhealthy, plus it's just a waste of money. Like, so much of the year's profits come from the roughly 30 days, slightly more than 30 days of Christmas season. Back at the shop, time for a scent barrage. There we go. Begun the process of getting ready to spool. Remember, all it is filament, print, paint, package. Filament, print, paint, package. That's all we gotta do. That's everything. Like a wounded beast, she is still dangerous. I know at least a few of you have been watching pretty much since the beginning, and I know at some point a lot of people have thought like, man, why do you have all these printers? A lot of them aren't printing most of the time. What's the deal with that? You're seeing it now, and you're not even seeing it now. You're about to see it. Like, this is the equivalent of when you have a ship, you know, in the age of sail, and you just get like every little pocket handkerchief out and like attach it to the mast, because you need every little ounce that you can muster. Okay, those new candles smell amazing. I mean, really good. Before things get crazy, I'm probably gonna go buy at least 10 of these. They're just so good. This entire place smells like unbelievably comforting and inviting, which is what you want. Yeah, I get a notification every time I get an email, which is also, you know, every time I get a sale, I get an email, and they just keeps dinging and dinging and dinging. Oh man, it's gonna be crazy. Yeah, this is such a crazy feeling. I'm getting this weird nostalgia right now, because you always forget every year exactly what it's like. But it's like this feeling if you won the lottery, except every dollar that you win in the lottery, you have to work for. You have to make things to get it. It's like a great feeling, and I don't mind working hard at all. But it's also like terrifying. I'm just oscillating between this like joy and terror. I don't know. Just thought I'd share that. One thing that's worth saying real quick, just a point of gratitude. I'm so glad that when we set up the secondary extrusion system, the second extrusion setup, that everything worked. Like, you guys probably remember that if you've been watching for a couple months. Wasn't sure the spooler, I hadn't used it in forever, and sometimes things go wrong, you know, you never know. I've opened up the back of these and I kind of know what's in there, but something could go wrong. And nothing went wrong with this part. Everything essentially was fine. We had that one time when this barrel overheated and got to 300 some degrees or something. Well, we just swapped out the barrel, but still I had a spare. There's a lot to be grateful for. And the fact that these two extrusion systems have worked well enough that we've almost got this wall full and this other wall full is what has allowed us to get to this point. Like, so much planning and preparation and work has gone into making this Christmas season a success that it's taken a lot of the stress off. Like, we're as ready as we can be, just about. Maybe the only debatable thing is it would be nice to have a few more smaller printers, but this is going to be enough. I mean, that's a lot of printers right there, and I've done this before. even if we sold, here's the thing to consider. Even if I sell the same amount of small stuff, which is what in past Christmases I've done, we've got all the large printers. We have 8 large printers. And so a lot of the business has shifted to larger things. Therefore, this ought to be enough printers. I mean, if 30% or something of the business has shifted, generally speaking, to larger items, which we're making an assumption about what's going to sell during Christmas, and sometimes the composition is different because it's a different crowd. But some amount of the business now is the large printers, so there's no reason to think really we don't have enough printers. And if this amount of printers isn't enough to keep up with demand, then shutting down the shop for a day or two or something means that we've made a ton of money. So like, it doesn't really matter. I'm kind of just thinking out loud and trying to figure out how this is all gonna work. And since there's a show now, you get to see that. See, like I just got another ding in my earbuds. Like before I just ranted there, I got a ding. After I ranted, I got a ding. Like that's what it's like. I think we're gonna take this opportunity to fix these 2 printers. This one just needs a new nozzle and stuff. It clogged. And this guy, for some reason, I still haven't actually replaced the Bowden tube because we figured out what the problem was, and it wasn't that. But as you can see, this tube connector came apart. So we're gonna replace the tube and do everything new. But this guy was cranking out some good stuff. One of the wheels came off. So it's all good. Like, this will be fine. I'm actually really kind of hyped about having this. See, plastic nozzle clog. I wish I had the scrap plastic here, but it was kind of obvious from the way the thing printed. This guy's heating up. Now we're gonna do this Bowden tube. I never quite like 100% trust Bowden tubes that I didn't put in personally. So this kind of makes me feel good, honestly. I have so many of these connectors. These don't generally go bad very much, so you kind of end up with a lot of them. Here's an example to show something. This is a Bowden tube that came from one of the big S5s. As you can see, there's a big old worn section where the stuff is coming out, but most of this Bowden tube is fine, and we only need like that much of it to go on one of the on the CR10 Pro we're working on. So this is a way that instead of just throwing this away completely, there's no reason not to just save it so that you don't go through more tubing than you need. Or as Phil Collins would say, don't throw it all away. Put that one on. We're gonna take the husk of this off, and then we will be good to go. Meanwhile, this guy's doing his little job. Well, new Bowden tube. That wasn't too painful. Now, of course, a lot of this plastic is effectively up on the walls and stuff in the form of filament. So it's not like we're really halfway through per se, but anyway, this just goes to show you how much filament we've been making the last few months. Okay, in my haste, I may or may not have noticed that this is decaf. So maybe we'll just get some normal coffee and blend it 50-50. Stuffed chicken breasts wrapped in bacon and peanuts. Yup, that's what we're eating. Take a look at that. It's like $7. Got to package a couple small things to get them out of the way. Drumstick hanger. Black uke. While we've got a moment, we are going to revisit this guy. We really got to get printers rehabbed. We have a little over a week before things get truly crazy, whatever that means. So this extruded okay, it under extruded, but everything else seemed to be fine. So this is probably just a clog or something. We're gonna redo the things and it should be all right. In doing the stuff, I noticed that, you know, those two screws that hold the heating block in place, one of them was loose. So I tightened it up. I'm not exactly sure how much that contributed to this problem, but it sure can't hurt. Always check to make sure that's like nice and tight so it's not gonna move when you do this. This sounds real weird, but when I start getting bored, even if I'm doing something, my mind starts to wander, and then I start like trivia quizzing myself about music. And I was just like trying to remember all the members of the band Toto. I think it's David Paik, Bobby Kendall is the guy who just sings, Jeff Porcaro, oh yeah, the guitarist who also played on the Thriller album. Oh man, why can't I remember his name? He's extremely good. Okay, I can't quite get it right now. And I think there's a guy named like Steve Porcaro that plays bass. I had to look it up. Steve Lukather. He has an amazing solo on the song Hydra off of their 360 live concert. It's really worth looking up on YouTube. It's like one of my favorite, it might be my favorite solo of all time, honestly. Really nice looking David right here. Checking back in on this guy. That is basically perfect. Yeah, I can feel the layers. This is gonna be a good printer. Whatever was wrong with it is not wrong with it anymore. We're getting into the good stuff where we have to batch things, but all these T-Rexes make me realize there's something I probably have never showed you guys. A few years back, I was featured on the Huffington Post. As you can see here, this item, and it talks about it later, that is this. That is the same thing. There you go. It's number 10 in this listicle. M3 is 3D. I guess I was in Austin at the time. Or they thought I was or something. But yeah. And the prices went up a little bit. We've had a little inflation, but yeah, there you go. Couple of Scully boys. Dolphin boy. Einstein boy. This is without the headphone hook, which is an option I allow people to choose. I believe this is going to Germany, but I could be thinking of a past order. Couple of Gandy boys. I did it all for the Gandys. The Gandys. Davy boy. Well, we got everything prepped. It's time to paint. As you can see, real good bit of stuff. It's nice having all these little platforms set up because we can segregate it largely by color. Before. And now painted. Okay, so I just spent an embarrassing, not really, a startling amount of time trying to figure out what is wrong with this thing because it's acting really weird. I figured out, this is crazy, I figured out that a pack of nozzles I bought were the wrong diameter, as in the hole was the wrong diameter. It wasn't what they're supposed to be. So like, somebody put the wrong nozzles in a case of nozzles. So beware out there. I mean, I bought from this company for years and years, never had a problem, which is also what makes it very strange. So just beware when you get nozzles. It's worth checking every once in a while to make sure that they're actually the right diameter hole. Like, as you can see, this is like very, very under extruded. And so like I was about to replace this entire hot end, and I did do a bunch of stuff to it. I changed the entire Bowden tube, but like I just could not get it to extrude enough. And it's like, oh, it's acting like the nozzle is really tiny. It's because it is. Well, frankly, that is more than enough drama for one day. Man, I hate it when I spend like an hour doing something. It's just like the stupidest problem. But that's what being an entrepreneur is. You want to see what it's like to be an entrepreneur, that's what it's like. You won't run into, well, there's lots of employment. Basically everything sucks in some ways and doesn't suck in others. There you go, life lesson. It's like, yeah, I don't have some boss breathing down my neck who doesn't know anything and has no idea whether what I'm doing is right or not, but wants to act like he does. That's not a thing I have anymore. But then I have people sending me nozzles that are not what they're labeled as. So there's no paradise, there's no panacea, so don't expect it. Time to close. Time to close the thingies. Oh, what a strange way to end the day. The weirdest problems are the ones where it's just like a thing that you always just take for granted suddenly is just not true for some reason. It's just not what it is normally. I mean, you 3D printing guys can understand how weird that is. Like, you put a new nozzle in, you do the whole thing, and it's still under extruding, and there's like, you know, the hot end is like pretty new and there's nothing like stuck in there. Like, so weird. The good news though, and there usually is good news, that didn't happen in the middle of the Christmas rush. I mean, it's getting busy now, but like, I can't even imagine having to deal with that once things are like 3 times busier than now. Like, it's really good that we spotted that. Well, we have a featured business. We're not going to be doing a whole lot of features because you know, you have to correspond with people and stuff, and I don't mind doing that the vast majority of the time. But for Christmas, we're going to have to put that on hold. But we have a couple more before things really start getting crazy. And next we have Andy. Andy is from 2B3D. He's got his own website. He's on Instagram. He's got a bunch of stuff. We'll put link in the description. But yeah, we've been emailing back and forth. He's a cool guy, part of the Gratitude Gang, proud, strong member of the Gratitude Gang, regular contributor. And it's time that y'all got to know him. So he, you know, at my behest, he sent and produced and then sent. He produced and then sent a video explaining a little bit about his business, the kinds of things he likes to print, and a few other nuggets. And we will play that right now.
Hey guys, I'm Andy. I am 2B3D on YouTube, and I'm part of the Gratitude Gang. I've been 3D printing for about 4 months now. Some of the things that I've been printing over the last few months are things like this bone snapper helmet, working on a 1250% size dummy 13. This is the chest piece right here. Also got full-size sand shrew and Charmander, some other Pokemon stuff going on right now. These prints are being used to dial in a new print profile on the Soval SV06 Ace that just came out. Speaking of the SV06 Ace and the A1 Mini, let's take a look at some of these things up close that I've printed and that I enjoy printing, and then we'll take a walk into the shop and see what we got going on in there. It's got the classic helmets that everybody's doing. Tigress of Gaul up there. Obviously, I got some work to do. Another Helldiver's helmet, Venom. Some Warhammer stuff over here. Goku in there. This lady pool's pretty cool. That hair, you can't do that on a little printer. Godzilla, everybody loves the Godzilla. Of course, Pokemon stuff. You got to have your dice tower to go with your D20 stuff. Down here is more of those parts for that 1250% size dummy 13 I'm doing. You can see I'm doing more than one. And this giant Warhammer shield. Really enjoy working on the Warhammer stuff because it's really cool. All right, let's go in here into the dungeon. Lighting's not so good in here, but we're gonna work with it. So over here you can see we have the Soval SV08. This one actually just finished that test print that I was talking about. It's a really fast printer, very accurate. Pretty cool once you get them dialed in. Over here we have the good old P1S from Bamboo Labs. Really good machine. I enjoy it. Right now it's working on an egg dispenser. Got a lot of people in my area that have chickens, have their own eggs going. Got another egg dispenser going there. Here's the SV06 Ace that I was talking about, and this is the Prusa Star overhang test. Excellent test print for dialing in your print profiles. Over here we got another A1 working on another part of that dummy 13. I got this A1 Mini. This is not even the A1 Mini that I bought originally. I gave that one to my sister, and I just bought this one recently just to have one. Over here I got the Prusa XL with the 5 tool heads. It's working on some skulls for my sister. She sells stuff at craft fairs. Filament rack is getting low, but I guess that's how it goes. Got another A1 over here working on a tentacle controller stand. And I got an A1 over here that was working on the same thing in a different color, but it failed. So we had to stop that print. Oh yeah, also we do have an Elegoo Neptune 4 Max. I just got this yesterday. Elegoo Neptune 4 Max was on sale for $349, so I couldn't pass that up. I'm grateful for the Gratitude Gang. I'm grateful for the opportunity to meet new people and have friends in a community that is helpful to each other. Today in this world with the internet the way it is, even in person, people are not good to each other. The Gratitude Gang is one of those groups, you know. Everybody's cool to each other, everybody helps each other, you know, everybody wants to be part of something that is positive. So that's what I'm grateful for. Thanks guys, thanks for watching, and hope to see you around.
Some pretty cool stuff. It's really fun to just see like the work other people are doing. We're really getting a sense of like what everybody is into, and it's kind of humbling to have some really great makers in the audience, and I appreciate it. As to what I am grateful for today, I am grateful that I figured out the problem with those nozzles as quickly as I did, because like that's something that could have fooled me for a lot longer, honestly. Things have. I'm really grateful for the crazy amount of sales so far. Oh man, yep, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that we were able to be as ready for it as I am, and I can't really organize a thought right now. Anyway, Gratitude Gang, tell me what you're grateful for in the comments. I will read it, and I will give you a thumbs up and a heart, and thumbs up other people's stuff. I am a little bit delirious. These lights in the background maybe weren't the best choice. I feel a little loopy. But I actually am genuinely grateful that you guys tune in and do all the things you do. it's nice to see the shops and the work that other people are doing. I really enjoy that. So anyway, see you next time. Peace out.